Education. I am Miss Dee Dee, and I am super excited, y'all. We're looking at the SPY. Well, let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes. I am just excited about teaching people how to build generational wealth, and the stock market is one of those avenues. With that being said, let's get started. So I've been today just watching the SPY. I traded the SPY today. The SPY and Tesla are my go-to, right? So what I wanted to point out is we're looking at the SPY on a 5-minute chart. SPY came down to this. It started over here about 950. It hit this Fibonacci level here, so that is support. It bounced off of that and it went up, right? Well, guess what? It came back down here at 1245 and bounced again, but it just moved more or less sideways. Well, it came back to that area again. So we have come to this area a few times. My point that I'm trying to make is pay attention to where your support and your resistance is. If you are at strong support, this Fibonacci line here is strong support. If you're at strong support, it's probably going to bounce off of that at first and then possibly come back and retest that as it did here. Or it could, continue to the downside. But that it was just amazing when I look at it from let's say a longer view. This is the 30-minute chart. The SPY came down here at this ATR trailing stop and it bounced off of it twice. So to me, that was very strong support. If you are able to identify your support and your resistance areas, it's going to make a major difference for you. And again, I use my moving averages as support and resistance, and it's really not hard to do. You just have to know what those colors of the, I know that my light blue is my 5 EMA. You have to know what they are and use them to help you, right? So if I was in this trade, the market is actually live now. I am not trading. I have already traded. Let me go ahead and fix that. I have already traded for the day. And if I was in or looking to get in the SPY at this point, looking at the 5-minute chart, this I do not trade. That consolidation area, that gathering spot, I don't do that. And it looks as if SPY broke through a very key area of support here. So I would clearly be trading SPY to the downside. Yeah, it did come down and bounce off of this ORB low, which is the opening range breakout. This is the opening range low of the day. It was the first 15 minutes. My charts automatically, it's already grafted on my charts automatically. Let's say that. So it came down, it bounced off of this ORB, but it got resistance right here at what used to be support. So now support, it was support, it now becomes resistance. And it looks like it tried to bounce through that and it got rejected here on the 20 EMA, but it came back down and found support here on the 5 EMA. So it was stuck in between this 20 EMA and this 5 EMA. So that was support and resistance at that time, right? So now we are still at this resistance area. So in order to trade SPY to the upside, in my opinion, it would need to clear a lot of stuff. A lot of moving averages, the VWAP, all of that good stuff. It will have to clear all of that to even consider trading it to the upside. So I don't see an upside move, and I clearly would not be trading. Looking at the MACD, I clearly would not be trading all of this. I don't do a lot of this portion right here. So you want your trades to be very clear and very, you got the clear picture. I understand what my picture is showing me. And right here, it tells me this is the demand zone for, this is the area that SPY, I call it the gathering spot. SPY has been trading in this area here. Prime example, here. I marked the high and the low of this candle, and SPY traded but within this range, right? And if I was to trade the SPY, I would have traded it once it broke out of that consolidation area. So it consolidated for here, And once it broke out, that's my confirmation to enter the trade. I would have waited and I would have gotten in the trade. I would have been careful. Why? Because it did bounce off this ATR trailing stop. It went back up again and it came back down. It seems like it's coming back down. But right now, this is very strong support for us. And we will stay in the trade until it closes above this 5 EMA. I do not trade the 30-minute chart. I only mark it to help me with my wider view, my longer view. I enter my trades on the 1-minute chart. Again, I use this as an example of consolidation, or what I consider the gathering spot. As soon as it breaks out of the gathering spot, again, I would have set my alert here and my alert here. I would have entered the trade once my alert went off to the downside here, and then I would have definitely paid very close attention on the 1-minute, because I need to know what's going on right now. A lot of people use the 2-minute, and there's nothing wrong with that. You have to learn to use what works for you. With trading, there's so many ways to make money, so many ways to make money. You've just got to learn what way works for you. And I always say, let's try to keep it simple. Let's try to keep it to where you understand and not complicate it and make yourself overthink it, because I am an overthinker. And if you're looking at all of this and like, okay, I'm not going to get it, but yeah, you can. So again, this was that consolidation area, the 2 light blue lines that you probably can't see well. There they are. So these are the 2 lines that we saw on the 30-minute chart. I marked that on the 5-minute chart, and that was the gathering spot, and that's exactly where SPY had been gathering for a while. And I set an alert. I would set an alert to let me know once it break that area, but I knew that we were having trouble at that ATR trailing stop. I knew that was an issue for us. I knew that, okay, we have issues at that place, because it hit it once, it hit it twice, and here we are back at it again. I didn't know once it got to this place again, you know, is it going to break through this area, or is it going to continue, you know, to the downside? I was hoping that it would continue down. And I will tell you this, the more times that your candles hit support or hit the resistance, it's probably going to break through at some point. You know, like here, it hit it once, it hit it twice. The third time, it start coming down. And same thing with your you can't sit on this one, but same thing with your resistance. If you're up here and you see all of this jumbled up, bumbled, I don't do well with that. You need to make sure that you can see clearly, right? So as many times as it came up and hit the VWAP here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the 6th time or the 7th time, you see it came down. The more times it hit that area, the weaker it becomes. Either it's going to go up or it's going to go down. You wait on confirmation. Don't just assume, oh, it's hit it 3 or 4 times, it's going to go up. No, that's not the case. In this case, it actually went down. So you've got to learn. I always say, y'all, trade what you see. It's not complicated. Just trade what you see and pay attention to your signals, right? So in this example here, SPY met some resistance here, and it started gathering. That's the gathering spot here. And let me go ahead and mark that so I can show you. So we are marking our, I would say, the gathering spots for SPY. So SPY broke out of that area here, and I would have entered my trade here. And if you look down,